How are you doing today? Good morning. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. All right, so let's jump on. So what did we discuss in our last class?
Keep a cluster networking instances.
Okay, clusters and key pair. Okay. So what is a group of EC2 instances called? Cluster. And what is that cluster group? What is that group called? Placement group. And how many types of placement groups are there?
3 types.
3. Which one do you choose for high performance? Number 1. And then which one do you choose for critical applications, like spread it across multiple availability zones?
Spread placement, yeah.
And cluster placement group, does it spread across availability zones or it within one availability zone?
Spread across multiple availability zones.
One availability zone. And then how in partition placement group, how many partitions you can create?
7.
7 partitions. And how many EC2 instances you can have per partitions? Hundreds of EC2 instances. Nice. What is key pair?
To retrieve the password.
Key pair is used to retrieve the password of the EC2 instance. Nice. Or you can say it is a combination of public key and then private. Yes, Malik, right. So what is the extension of the key pair?
.pem.
.pem. So .pem is a private file or public?
Private.
Nice. And then each EC2 instance can have how many key pairs attached? 1. And then one key pair can be attached to multiple EC2 instances?
Yes.
Okay. What is the default username for Windows?
Administrator.
And what is the default username for Linux?
Dot
EC2 minus user.
Yeah, dot EC2 minus user.
Great. Yeah. And what is the port number what is the protocol to use for Windows to log in? RDP. For Linux?
We use PuTTY.
SSH. So for what is the client that you use for your connecting to the Linux machines?
PuTTY.
Cool. Okay. Great. So this is what we have discussed in our last class. So what we're going to do today, talk about something really good. Share my screen. Okay. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
And am I audible, clear, loud? Okay. Okay, so today we talk about security groups. Security groups. So guys, do you remember our initial days that we discussed about firewall?
Yeah.
So what is firewall? What is firewall? I need what exactly I told. Yes, firewall which stops unauthorized access to the network. Do you remember this? Right? Yeah. So which stops unauthorized access to the network. This is what we have learned. And do you remember firewall also? Like I think you remember quite nicely. Like, do you remember this example? Like firewall, I gave this watchman example, right? If you want to go to apartment, right? To who will stop you first? Watchman or security guy, right? And he will ask you what, why, and etc. Everything he will ask you. And if he's satisfied with the answers, he will be allowing inside the apartment. The same thing here. Here in AWS, here in IT concept, we have something called firewall. Firewall also does the same. It will stop unauthorized access to the network. But now, this firewall in AWS, or especially in EC2, the firewall is called as security group. What do we call, guys? Firewall is called here security group. Very, very, very important. So if someone asks you the definition of security group, you could say like this. Security group meaning security group SG. Yeah. Stops unauthorized access to the right. Now, yeah, not to the network, here to the EC2 instance. Very good. Right? The security group, guys, stops unauthorized access to the EC2 instance. Right? So security group, guys, is used to secure the EC2 instance. We will launch an EC2 instance, guys. We will launch an EC2 instance, but how do we secure it? Security group is used to secure the EC2 instance. How is the concept? And do you know now clearly that which is used to secure the EC2 instance? It is security group, SG, security group. So security group is used to secure the EC2 instance. How? Let's see. By the way, before going a little bit deeper into it, let me draw a diagram what are the things that is required to reach the EC2 instance. For example, let's see. So the top one is, what is this, guys? AWS. Inside this, what we have? Inside AWS we have region. Inside region, what we have, guys? VPC. Nice. Inside the VPC, today we'll be learning something new, which is something called NACL. Don't worry, we'll talk about that. So inside NACL we have security group, and after that you have availability zone and EC2, etc., etc. Okay. Inside that you have AC. Yeah. Guys, so in order to talk to the EC2 instance, you need to go all through this. You need to go all through this. So first you need to enter AWS, after that you have a region, after that you have VPC, after that you have NACL, after that you have security group, after that you have availability zone, then only we'll be hitting the EC2 instance. So guys, don't worry about NACL, we will discuss, right? First we will discuss here what is about the security group. For example, hey, security groups, can I call also here, security group acts like a firewall to secure the EC2 instance. Can I say that also? In another word, in another sentence? Yes. Security group acts like a firewall to secure the EC2 instance. Yes, we can say that too. Okay, let's say for example, you have an EC2 instance here. Voice is breaking. Guys, my voice is breaking. Okay, yeah. Check your side, Babji. Nice. Okay, so this is our EC2 instance. This is EC2. And let's say we have some application inside this. Okay, guys. So we have this, and the security group is like, it will cover this EC2 instance, basically. It will secure. This is the security group. So what is the security group? Security group secures the EC2 instance. Guys, in security groups, now you tell me, when I create here, whenever I create a EC2 instance and security group, attach it to the EC2, by default, do you have any protocols enabled? Let's say, for example, guys, this is a Windows machine. This is a Windows EC2 instance. Can you tell me what kind of protocol I need to allow? What kind of protocol I need to allow in order to log into the Windows machine?
RDP.
Yes, RDP, right? So RDP, what we need to do is we need to allow RDP protocol. We need to allow RDP protocol, which is some 3389. Okay. Now we have applications inside the EC2 instance. Guys, your application basically works on which protocol? If you want to access the application, which protocol it will have to access? HTTP. Nice. So what protocol I need to enable in order to access my application inside this? HTTP. Guys, here it is all about allowing. What is that? It's all about allowing. So we need to create a rules here, basically. We need to create a rules. And here I'll allow something called allow HTTP, that is with OT. Got that? So we have an EC2 instance. Whatever we need to allow the rules, allow the protocols. We have a concept called rules, right? Guys, we have a concept called rules. So whatever the protocols that you need to allow it, you allow it. Okay, now you tell me, guys. So I have created a security group here. I have attached a security group, a brand new security group, fresh security group. Can you tell me, by default, do you have any rules enabled to that security group? No. Definitely no. So before going a little bit deeper even here, guys, here security group has two types of rules. How many types of rules are there? Security groups has two types of rules. Security group has two types of rules. Number one is inbound rule and outbound rule. Can everyone say this, guys? Very important. We'll be dying all the time on this. Inbound rule and outbound rule. Inbound rule and outbound rule. What is inbound rule? The traffic which is coming towards the EC2 instance is called inbound rule simply, right? Yeah. So which allows traffic towards EC2 instance. It's called inbound rule. And how about outbound rule? Same thing. Which sends the traffic outside EC2 instance. So there are two types of rules, inbound rule and outbound rule. So what is inbound rule? Guys, here we have just added there are two types of rule, inbound rules and outbound rules. And here, whatever the protocols that I have allowed is called inbound rules. Whatever the traffic which is coming towards EC2 instance. Incoming, outgoing, yeah, in simple. Incoming meaning what are the protocols that you need to allow based on the requirement here. Let's say, for example, if you have a Linux machine, what kind of protocol you need to allow in order to log into the Linux machine? SSH. And what is the protocol to log into the Windows machine? RDP. What is the protocol to access your application? HTTP. Guys, based on your requirement, you need to allow these protocols in the inbound rule. Getting it? Right? Okay. So here, guys, yeah, we will call it as inbound rule. So RDP is an inbound rule, and then here HTTP is an inbound rule here. Right? Okay. Now, I created a brand new security group here. Can you tell me, by default, do we have any inbound rules? Yes or no? No. Can I say that by default, inbound rules are deny? Can we say that? By default, inbound rules are deny? Yes. Remember, guys, this is a perfect certification question. By default, inbound rules are deny. Guys, remember, in security groups, you can only allow the protocols. You can only allow the protocols. And also keep this in mind. There is no way that you can deny it. There is no way that you can deny it. It's already denied. So guys, by default, everything is denied here. By default, everything is denied. If you want, allow whatever you want. By default, everything is denied. And if you want to allow, you allow what you want. Say, let's say if you want to allow RDP, allow it. If you want to allow HTTP, allow it. Guys, how many rules are there here? 2 rules I have created. Now tell me, let's say for example, is it possible to connect to the EC2 instance using SSH with these 2 rules? No. Why you said no? Because whatever is not there here, those are denied. Can I say that rest everything is denied? Rest everything are denied? So keep this in mind. Rest everything are denied. Rest everything are denied. Rest everything are denied. Oh my gosh. Rest everything are denied. Right? So guys, keep this in mind. RDP, we have already learned that RDP is used to log in or connect to the... Okay, let me write that also. Are you clear about RDP and SSH as we discussed yesterday, guys? RDP and SSH, what do we do with RDP? So RDP meaning, I'll write once again here, is used to log in or connect remotely to the EC2 instance. To the Windows EC2 instance. And how about SSH? Is used to log in or connect remotely to the Linux EC2 instance. How about HTTP and HTTPS? Yes, HTTP and HTTPS is used to access the application from EC2 instances. Yes, you have to be very clear on this protocol. We'll be using this a lot. RDP, SSH, and HTTP. Okay. Nice. Okay. Nice. So we just learned that by default. Okay, now questions for you guys. Is it possible to deny any protocol and security group? Think. Guys, is it possible to deny a protocol? Yes, Pankaj. Very good, guys. By default, it is denied, na? By default, everything is denied. Ashish, good. By default, everything is denied. Is there any specific reason to deny specially? No. Guys, in security groups, you can only allow the protocols. By default, it is denied. Everything is denied. By default, Everything is denied. Let me give another example. Whatever you want, you have to only allow those. Rest everything is denied. Let's say, for example, this is your EC2 instance. So this is EC2. Okay. So EC2 is secured with what? Security group. This is security group. Security groups has two types of rules. What are those? Inbound rule and outbound rule. Right? This one I call this inbound. And then here we have something called outbound rule. Okay. Inbound rule and outbound rule. Okay. So this is a EC2 instance, and EC2 instance, if guys, EC2 is like, Bahubali, and then security group is like Katappa. Okay. So if you want to talk to the Bahubali guys, first you need to talk to Katappa, right? So yeah. The same way here, if you want to touch EC2 instance, you have to touch security group first. And if the security groups allows, then only you go inside the EC2. If your security groups doesn't allow, you cannot connect to the EC2. You cannot reach the EC2, right? Okay. Now, by default, right, guys, by default, inbound rules are allowed or denied. Yes, perfect. So by default, inbound rules are denied. By default, inbound rules are denied. Very good. So guys, so here, if you want to allow something, you allow it. By default, everything is denied. Guys, remember, imagine it's like a big wall, completely plastered, right? Big wall, which is closed wall. And everything is denied. You cannot do. You cannot go inside it. If you want, you just put a hole and then see inside it, right? Yeah, it's like jail. Yeah, everything is denied. If you want from the holes, you can see it. So here, inbound rules are like everything is denied. If you want to allow particular thing, you can allow like HTTP, SSH, whatever you want to allow, you can allow it. Yes. So for example, inbound rules are denied. This is pakka. Let me write this out here. By default, inbound rules are denied. By default, inbound rules are denied. Okay. Okay. Now, how about the outbound rules, guys? Let me give an example here. For example, if you're going to some mall, shopping mall, what you do when you are entering it, there will be a security guy. What he'll do, guys? By default, everything is allowed in shopping mall. No, no. By default, nothing is allowed. So, by default, everything is denied. So, whoever you want, he will be allowing it. By what? He'll do the massage to you, first. He will do the checkup, right? He'll check up and everything is good, and then he'll be sending inside the, he'll be sending inside the mall. And now you tell me, once you enter into the mall and then you're going back, will he check it again? No, he don't, right? So by default, inbound rules are deny. By default, outbound rules are deny or allowed? Allowed. Very good. Very good. By default, by outbound rules are allowed because everything is already checked now. Guys, whatever the traffic which is coming inside, it's already checked. So there is no reason here. So all your outbound rules are allowed. So inbound rules are deny. This is inbound, and this is outbound. And all your outbound rules are allowed. Okay, if you allow any protocol here in HTTP, do you need to allow that on outbound rule? Yes or no? No, because it's already allowed. Everything is allowed. Guys, everything is allowed. Everything is allowed. So here, I'll just put it. outbound rules are, by default, inbound rules are deny and outbound rules are allowed. Outbound rules are allowed. Guys, getting it here, everyone? I want to deny. Okay, there is a question going up. I want to deny RDP protocol and allow to only SSH and HTTP. Yes. Okay, guys. Praveen is asking. He want to deny RDP and allow only SSH and HTTP. So that meaning he need to allow what protocols? Praveen, you just need to allow SSH and HTTP. That's all. Don't do anything related to RDP. So RDP, if you don't do anything on RDP, then it's not, yeah, Pankaj, right. Don't mention any RDP, that means it is deny. Whatever you are mentioning, it is allowed. Whatever is not mentioning, it's completely deny everything. HTTP and SSH, Unix, HTTP, RDP, Windows, Linux. No. HTTP irrespective of operating system. So HTTP, SSH is for Linux, RDP is for Windows, HTTP is for both. HTTP is to access your application. Lovely. Yes. Nice. Praveen, did I answer? If you got answer, please put CC so that I don't think that you didn't. Yeah. So is it possible to deny any what? I more time. Meaning? You need more time. One more time. Really? Okay. So guys, I think everyone understood this already. This is your EC2 instance. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Maybe some people. Yeah, this is your EC2 instance. Okay. And everything is blocked. Praveen, I need your responses here. Everything is blocked. Yes? Do you agree that by default inbound rules are denied by default? Agree? That meaning everything is blocked. Okay. Now I have allowed SSH, right? And then HTTP. I have allowed only these two. Now Praveen, I'll take your question only. I have allowed only SSH and HTTP. Can you tell me RDP is allowed in this case? Yes or no? Then you answer. So it is whatever you have allowed, that will be allowed, and rest everything is denied. That's the reason why I put it here. Rest everything are denied. Got it? Yes. Okay, once it's allowed, can we deny it? I mean, once we allow, later we change our mind not to allow. Okay, so guys, so once it is allowed, the question is how to deny it. What to deny it? How to deny it, guys? Guys, this is just a rules. You add a rule, remove this rule, patak, that means it is denied. Yes. Remove this rule, that meaning it is denied. Clear? Nice. Okay. Question again for you here. Is it possible to deny any protocol in security group? No. Why? What is the reason? Because by default, inbound rules are denied. Very good. Certification questions, guys. Okay. Another one. In security group, we can only allow protocols. You cannot deny it. Is that correct? True or false? right? In security groups, we can only allow protocols, not deny. Not deny. Nice. Okay, and also another question based on this knowledge. Every EC2 instance must have at least one security group attached. Do you agree? Yes. At least one security group attached, guys. So you cannot have an EC2 instance without a security group. No. Every EC2 instance must have at least one security group attached. At least one security group attached. Hey, you can create multiple security groups and you can attach multiple security groups to a single EC2 instance. Possible, guys. So security groups, for example, here, let's say these are my EC2 instances here. Let's say, for example, 1, 2, 3. These are all EC2 instances. Guys, for each and every EC2 instances, I can have its own security group. We can have it. But is it better to do like this, guys? Each and every EC2 instance should have its own security group created. If you have 100, that meaning you will create 100 security groups? No. So what, can we do like this also? Yes. So based on a requirement, if you want to segregate, like how we segregated key pair, na? Based on the requirement, group, right? So yes, here also, let's say if you have an, yes. So if you have an application EC2 instance with applications, so you can group the EC2 instance which has an applications and create one security group. And for databases, you create one security group, right? Yes, guys. So one security group, one EC2 instance, you can have multiple security group attached, and one security group also can be attached to many EC2 instances. Got that? All right. Right? So one EC2 instance can have many security groups attached. Agree? And one security group, can you attach one security group multiple EC2 instances? Yes, can be attached to many EC2. Right? So with that, I would say here, so you can create multiple security groups and you can attach multiple security groups to the single EC2 instance. Nice. So very important again. So here, whenever, okay, this question, we can allow either SSH or RDP at any point of time on EC2 instance, right? Yes, not both at the time because the EC2 instance created based on, yes, right. Right. But remember SSH, yes, it's just it's not specific. Yes, you can, for now, yes, yeah. Yes, sir. Right. Mostly SSH is for your Linux, right? Yeah. Okay, so guys, so whenever you launch an EC2 instance, definitely one security group should be attached, right? Can we launch multiple OS at the same time in our system? In your system, meaning what? In your laptop? In your system, meaning what is the system meaning here? PUBG. Through AWS, in your system. Yes, Pankaj, right. Thanks for that. Yes, you can, guys, see AWS is just like an environment. From your laptop, you can launch multiple EC2 instances. That can be a Windows, that can be a Linux. Yes, possible. Not in your system, from your system. From your laptop to AWS, So in that environment, AWS environment, you can launch, yes, Windows and Linux. You can do whatever you want. Yes, nice. Okay. So guys, you're not allowing me to go to next. Okay, this question. If one instance is Linux and other is Windows, in that case, you can use one instance with both? Yes, you can do it. You can attach, I told you that one security group can be attached to multiple EC2 instances. If this EC2 instance is Linux and this is Windows and you're using the same security group, yes, go ahead and allow SSH and then RDP both. It's up to us. Right. But in one laptop, we can have two OS. So two AWS instance possible also. Multiple EC2s can be launched. Yes. Yeah. Should I wait for a minute for the questions or should I continue? Okay, go ahead. Don't stop your questions, guys. So if it is silly question also, please ask. Right? If it is small, stupid question also, please ask. Keep this in mind one saying, I always remember this. If you think the question is stupid and if you don't ask, you will remain stupid lifelong because you have that stupid question in your mind all the time. So whatever the question it is, don't think it is stupid question, it's a great question, it's a small question. So just go ahead and ask. Yeah. So whatever protocol we are allowing inbound rule, the same protocol has been seen in outbound rules. Outbound rules, you no need to allow anything. Sir, how politely you're giving us. Thank you. Yeah. So guys, outbound rule, you no need to specifically allow anything. No. Yeah. You don't need to specify. Everything is allowed. Guys, here, we will see in that. So here, everything is allowed here, meaning guys, all traffic, like this. All traffic. Someone is asking about this. So this includes, we'll talk about that. But keep this in mind, Ansari bhai. Keep this in mind, whatever the protocol that you have allowed in inbound rule, you no need to allow that on outbound rule because every protocol is already allowed. It's already checked while coming inside. Yeah? Yeah. Does EC2 support virtual machine inside it? Why not? If you install VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, etc., then it supports. But there is no use of doing that. Thank you, bhai, Fazluk. Hey, what is VPC? That's a VPC. You need to hold on. I think you might have missed the classes, Sayed bhai. So VPC is virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud. We have the topic later. Don't worry on that. For now, you just think it of VPC is like in a virtual data center. It's like a secured area where you can put all your stuff there. For now, you can think about. Is that chance of overlap in security? No. So, guys, okay. Create EC2 and it is yes, Praveen, right. Guys, let's move on here now. So here, whenever you launch an EC2 instance, definitely one security group should be attached. Keep this in mind. There is a default security group already created and managed by AWS. What's that? Default security group. So keep this in mind, guys. Whenever you're going and launching first time, whenever you're going and doing first time in AWS, everything AWS has made you very simple because you don't need to set it up your own VPCs for now. You don't need to set it up your own security groups for now. You don't need to set it up nothing. You just go and simply do it. Everything will be there, right? So those are called default settings. So in the security group also has, guys, AWS has a default security group. Default security group. AWS has the default security group. We can leverage that default security group if we need. AWS has a default security group. So if I ask you a question, hey, how many security groups that AWS is providing by default? How many? One. If I ask you, hey, what is that one security group that AWS is providing already? What should you say? Default security. right? And also a certification question here. And also certification. So a brand new security group. Tell me, all inbound rules are excellent. Nice. And outbound rules are alarms. Yeah. Okay. So now the question here is here. So we know that we have EC2 instance, and this is the security group. We have it. This is the security group. We have it. And then inbound rule, whatever is coming inside is inbound, and whatever is good. Okay. The question is, let's talk about inbound. So inbound, all the traffic is coming. What type of traffic? SSH or HTTP, the traffic is coming as an inbound. But from where it is coming? From where it is coming? There should be some source. Yes or no, guys? There should be some source now. There should be some source. Definitely there should be some source. Right? So here in AWS, yes, in internet, of course, definitely in internet. But yeah, so we have something called source. We can control this source as well, guys. We can control from where it should get the request also. We can control that only from your laptop, the request has to be allowed. Or we can control that, we can say that, hey, entire world can access HTTP on my EC2 instance. Or only specific people or IP address can access my EC2 instance can be allowed. So basically here we are talking about the source. So the sources are 3 types. What is that? The sources are 3 types. Here we have source. So there are 3 types of source. Number 1, is called custom. Number 2 is called anywhere. And number 3 is called MyIP. Okay. So what is this MyIP? Guys, so here in this case, you are sitting here with your laptop, right? And then you want to connect to the EC, guys, this entire thing is AWS, na? Guys, this entire thing is AWS. We are connecting to the AWS. This entire thing is AWS. And from your laptop, and you want to connect to your EC2 instance, and that is the source. If you want to only from your laptop to be connected, then select MyIP there. Here, MyIP. So MyIP meaning here access only to you. You have access only to you. Anywhere meaning, guys, for everyone. Custom meaning, guys, customized network. Only group of people or network range like that. So in our course, which one do you feel better? Custom, anywhere, or MyIP? In our course, which one is secure to use it? Yes, we need to always use MyIP so that no other people can just hack your stuff and then they do all the stuff. So don't use anywhere. Anywhere is not good. So let's say anywhere, when do you use anywhere? Let's say, for example, you have put an application, nice application here, right? And you want to access this application to the entire world. So you allow this HTTP protocol, and what is the source that you should be using it? Anywhere. If you use anywhere, so if anyone in the world can access HTTP, you can access your application. But SSH and RTP should be accessed by everyone? No. No one should be able to personally log into this machine. They can access the application, but they cannot log in. You're getting it, guys? How we are dealing with these security groups? Yes. Nice. Okay. Question for you. Public. MyIP means they're public. Dinesh. For now, you think it of public. We'll see that in practicals. Okay, let me explain that also, why to make it. Yeah. So guys, this is your internet. This is your laptop. Okay. So the laptop has internet, na? Yes or no? The laptop has internet. Your laptop will have private IP and laptop will have public IP also. Private IP meaning your own laptop. If you go to here and then you just put IP config, I have many, right? So for example, single IP, Prasad. So guys, here do you see that? Not what dot one is 44. Okay. Yeah. So do you see these IP addresses here? So these are all IP addresses are private IP addresses, guys. So private meaning it is private only. Will you able to connect to the public using private? Will you able to connect to the private from public, guys? No. Private meaning it is only to your laptop. So here, guys, so is there any use of the private IPs here to connect to the outside world? No. So which is the one which will be used to connect to the AWS is the public IP, using public IP. Okay, so public IP meaning who is the guy who is providing public IP to you? Your internet provider. Guys, you have internet provider, na? Right? You have internet provider. So your internet ISP provider, yes, ISP provider. So ISP provider will provide the internet and he will assign a public IP to you. And you need to play with that public IP. So for example here, if you go and type, what is my IP? This is the public IP which is provided by my ISP provider. And this is the guy who will be if you select my IP and if you select my IP, automatically this IP address will be taken. Only one IP address. Okay? Is that answer? Okay. Let me move forward. So guys, question for you. So if you allow any inbound rules, if you allowed any inbound rule, you need to allow that for the outbound rule? Yes or no? No. Very good. So you no need to allow that on outbound rule. Outbound rule. You know what? This is called it as stateful certification. What is this called? Stateful. So here, I would say security groups are stateful. What is that? Security groups are stateful. Right? Security groups are stateful. Okay, so I'll write one more thing, contradictory for that. Here. Okay, if you allow any inbound rule, you have to allow that also in the outbound rule. This is called stateless. But sir, you told that outbound rule we no need to allow anything, so everything is allowed by default, and that is called stateful. And which one here is, if you allow any inbound rules, definitely you have to allow that also in outbound rule. What is that? That is one which we will be talking now. It's called NACL. So guys, NACL are stateless. Don't worry about NACL, I'll talk about that soon. So security groups are stateful, NACL are stateless. You have to remember this. How to remember? Okay, guys, security is always full, na? I mean, security guys are very powerful. So keep this in mind, security groups are very powerful, so that meaning it is stateful. Right? And rest is stateless. Security meaning full. Remember, security meaning full. Powerful. Right? Just a small thing. Is this clear till here, everyone? Before we go and talk about NACLs? This question. The default it's denied, na? AWS public make it allowed inbound. It's up to in our hands, Babji. Everything is denied. So AWS make us, yeah, you can go and allow the rules, inbound rules. Yes, AWS will allow us to do that. Yes. Because see, the logic there is, this is a security group, right? How does the AWS know what kind of protocols that you need to allow here? Yeah? Logic, that's a logic, right? Security group is there. How AWS know what kind of protocol that you need to allow? You need to allow SSH, HTTP or NFS or FTP, what? So that's why it has left to the customer. Customer will allow what kind of protocol that he wants, he can allow to that security group. He just edit and then write and put something and then save. Like that. Yes. Everything we need to select as per our choice. Okay. Next. What is NaCl, guys? What is NaCl? Sodium chloride, sir. Chemistry student. NaCl meaning network access control list. Yeah, network access control list. As someone has already said here, who is that? Babji, nice. NaCls are, guys, it's an additional layer of security for your EC2 instance, right? So you can think it of, yeah, you have Bahubali, on top of it you have Katappa, and on top of it you might have Katappa's dad, or whoever, big Katappa, right? So yeah. So basically, if you want, guys, NaCls, yeah, Trishul, Trishul, yeah, Trishul layer, Trishul Arambham, right? So we have something called, yes, that is an additional layer of your on top of your security group. And security group NaCl behaves the same way, right? Security groups and NaCls behaves the same way. NaCls also has inbound rules and outbound rules, but little bit different. Let's see. So for now, NaCls meaning you can think it of, it is another layer of security for your EC2 instance. Yeah, another layer of security for EC2 instance. So I would also say that if you want to tie the security, guys, if you want to tie the security, use NaCl. Of course, from security group itself, you can go and secure your EC2 instance. But if you still need to go and tie it up, still need to go and secure it more secure it, then go for NaCl. So guys, like security groups, NaCl also has, yeah, Bhayanak security, yeah, has inbound and outbound rules. Guys, as per this diagram, can you tell me, as per this diagram, right? Ring diagram. Which one will hit first, NaCl or security group? As per this diagram, which one will hit first? Yes, NaCl will hit first and then security group. NaCl will hit first and then security group. Okay, why? How? Let's dig more details on this NaCl. So, as you see this already, the first hit will be NaCl. Guys, so the first hit will be NaCl, and whatever the inbound rules that you have it on the NaCl, that will be applied first. And let's say, for example, okay, let me talk about more on NaCl, then we'll go deeper. Okay, let's consider that this is AWS. Okay. For everything, you have it inbound and outbound, right? So that's why it has. Okay. Let's see. So, guys, in AWS, this is AWS. Do you remember whenever you launch an EC2 instance, automatically we'll get an IP address, right? Who will provide the IP addresses? AWS or customers? Who will provide the IP address to the EC2 instance? AWS. We have learned that. Okay. How does this AWS provides the IP address to the EC2 instance all of a sudden? Which range? Guys, in your company, you might have seen already a IP address network range. What does your company has? What kind of IP address your company has? Yeah, IPv4 only, but yeah, tell me the numbers. Do you see 10 series? 10 dot series? Right? Do you see 192 series? Huh? And do you see 172 series? Yes. So mostly this. So whatever. Then I just putting the starting numbers. Yeah. 10 series, 192 series, 172 series. Mostly are these three only. These are all the three. Yeah. So here, guys, whenever AWS has, you know very well, AWS has everything should be inside the VPC. Yes or no? Everything should be inside the VPC. So here we already have a default VPC, guys. Remember, as we have a default security group, AWS is providing a default VPC now already. Remember, in VPC concept we have learned this. AWS is providing a default VPC. So you no need to go and bang your heads by creating a new VPCs. We'll be doing that too. For now, let's use a default VPC. Guys, default VPC has a network range already set by AWS. Or when we create our new VPC, we will set our own network range like 192, 168, 0016. Don't worry on this. This is subnet masks, this is the base IP, right? Whatever. So basically, this is called CIDR. We talk more about in VPC section. CIDR, classless inter-domain routing. But don't worry, we'll still see about the CIDR in VPC section. CIDR meaning simply network range. CIDR meaning it's a network range. Okay. So guys, this is a big network range. Think it of, this is a big room, big apartment. VPC is like an apartment. You can take Sulabh Complex example also. Do we have their own private places, private areas in Sulabh Complex? Yes, right? Or you take your apartment, you have your own private spaces like different rooms. Yeah. So in this, the entire whole network range, can I create my own isolated, separate network? And I can call this as subnets. What is that? I can call it as subnet. I can create subnet. I can create small isolated network from this network range. Within this network, I'll create a small isolated network, which is called subnet. For example, I would say 192.168 is the range that we have used on top VPC. Here 1.0, I'll create a subnet. 192.168, 2.0, I'll create subnets. 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, like this, we keep on going. We can create different kinds of number of subnets there. Guys, you understood the subnet concept. A VPC is a big, apartments, right? Big home, your flat, and inside that subnet 1, subnet 2 are bedrooms, right? Yeah. But 2 bedrooms can talk to each other by default? No, right? So they are isolated. If required, you can. If required, you can. But make sure that all your bedrooms are in your flat only. You have access, right? Okay. So I would say the subnet is like isolated network. So, guys, subnet is an isolated network. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be going and launching my EC2 instances in this subnet. I'll be going and launching EC2 instances inside this subnet. Okay, I'll be going and launching EC2 instances in this subnets. This is how we'll be doing in practicals. Right? Yeah. This is one subnet. This is one subnet. And this is another subnet. You can have it. Guys, like this, can you create multiple subnets? Yes or no? Yes. Can we say that EC2 instance will be inside the subnet? Yes. Yes, same concept in your office network also. But in office you need to have VLAN, Cisco routing, creating routing tables, etc., etc., etc. But here it is very simple to do that. Yeah. So guys, now okay. Let's talk about NSCL now. Guys, I told you NSCL also has inbound rules and outbound rules. Now tell me, guys, do you agree that every EC2 instance will have its own security groups? Yes or no? Yes, okay. You can group it also, you can have it individually also. Okay, now let's say for example, some boochie came, some hacker came and he logged into your EC2 instance, let's say for example using SSH, and you got to know that using SSH is hacking, unauthorized guy who is logged into your EC2 instance using SSH. Now he is doing all kind of boom on your entire AWS network, and you got to know that particular EC2 instances in this subnet. So guys, now tell me how to revoke this SSH access. Will you go and revoke the SSH access for each and every security group? Is it possible? It is possible, but is it time consuming? Yes or no? By the time he'll take everything. Because we have so many security groups. Yes or no, guys? We have so many security groups, which is EC2. Security groups are EC2 instance level. And if I want to deny SSH, that meaning I need to remove the rule. I need to just remove the rule. So how many security groups I need to go and find out and then remove the rule? Difficult, right? So instead of that, you can make use of this NACL. NACL is like a security group also. It's like a security group, and which is to the entire subnet level. The security group is for the entire subnet level. So EC2 is only for security groups, guys. Yeah, security group is for instance level, whereas NACL are subnet level. So what I do is instead of going and removing this in EC2, removing this in security group, one fantastic feature of NACL is in NACL you can deny it. Guys, in security group, is it possible to deny? In security groups, is it possible to deny? No. But in NACL, you have a concept called deny. So go, guys, create an NACL, assign it to the subnet, and then deny it. And then whatever the EC2 instances are there inside this subnet, for everyone, this SSH deny rule will be applied in one shot. Right? So like this, you can create multiple NACLs and assign it to the subnet. So here, guys, the security group is EC2 instance level and NACL is subnet level. Clear? Right? Let me give another example for you. Guys, let's consider this is a EC2 instance for you. Guys, you should answer me here. So this EC2 instance, let's say this is a Linux guy. Okay. EC2 instance is first secured by whatever it may be, public or private, whatever. Guys, EC2 instance is secured by security group, na? Okay. In security group, if you want to connect to the Linux machine, what kind of protocol that you need to allow it? SSH. So here, for security group, for ST, I have SSH allowed. SSH allowed. Good. Okay. Now on top, I have NACL. Okay. In NACL, what I did, SSH deny. Now you tell me, will I able to connect to my EC2 instance using SSH? Yes or no? No. Because it is deny on NACL level, and you also know that NACL will hit first. Okay? And also, can you tell me, guys, this certification question? One subnet is associated to one NACL, yes or no? One subnet is associated to one NACL? Yes. Okay, now you tell me, one NACL can have multiple subnets attached? Yeah. One NACL can have multiple subnets. Multiple subnets. One subnet can be multiple one subnet can be multiple NACLs in NACLs at the same time? No, it cannot, because you will get conflicts, na? You deny here for another, you deny. So one subnet is better to assign it to one NACL. Remember, one NACL also can have multiple subnets. Guys, is this clear on NACL? Nice. So now what I do is, let's see security group. Let's put side by side. Let's write their properties here. What all they can do, what they can do. Okay. Hit it. Guys. So inbound rules. Security groups. Does the security group has inbound rules and outbound rules? Yes? Yes. Does the NACL also has inbound and outbound? Yes. Okay. And guys, here do we have a default SG? Default security group? Yes. And here also you have a default NACL. Here also you have a default NACL. No one, most of the people, they don't talk about this NACLs, guys. There will be there, NACL will be there already, which is assigned to our subnets already, created by a default VPC. But no one will talk about it. People will talk directly about security groups, because we go and allow and do everything there and it works. But NACL will also be there on top of it. But by default, everything is allowed. That's the reason why no one will talk about NACL. If NACL is denying something, people will talk about it. But by default, we have a default NACL. Na? And now tell me, in that default NACL, inbound rules and outbound rules are allowed or denied for that in the default NACL? Yes. Excellent. You're on track. So, which one will hit first? Security group will hit after NACL. Yeah? And here, NACL will hit first. And then security group. So, by default here, on security groups, guys, by default, inbound rules are deny. And here by default, inbound and outbound rules are allowed. Nice. Okay. Guys, is it possible to deny on security group? Is it possible to deny on security NACL? You can deny and you can allow. Both you can do it. So which one are EC2 instance level? Security groups are EC2 instance level, whereas NACLs are subnet level. Whoa, nice. So guys, if you create any new security group, all inbound rules are, if you create a new security group, all inbound rules are deny. So if you create a new security group, all inbound rules are deny, and outbound rules allowed. So how about here? If you create an NACL, guys, think and tell me. So if you create a new NACL, all inbound and outbound rules are excellent. Guys, if you create a new one, okay, there is a typo here. Okay, yeah. So guys, if you create any new NACL, all inbound and outbound rules are deny. Inbound and outbound rules are deny. But for a default NACL, everything is allowed. But whenever you create a new one, it's deny. You need to go and allow it. Okay. So which one are stateful? SG are stateful. And which one is stateless? NACL are stateless. Guys, so if you allow any inbound rules, you need to allow that also on outbound rules in security groups. If you allow any inbound rules, you no need to allow that on outbound rules. But whereas here, that is why it is called stateful, na? And here, if you allow any inbound rules, you must allow that also in outbound rule. Got that clear picture on security group and NACL? Any questions? Super clear? Nice. So quick shootout, guys. Quick shootout. Ready? Let's do this. So what is firewall called in AWS? In EC2? Security groups. So security groups. So if someone asks you what is security group, please tell that security group act like a firewall to secure the EC2 instance. Okay. How many types of rules are there in security group?
Total 2.
What are those? Inbound rule and outbound rule. So inbound rule meaning which is allowing traffic inside, and outbound ring which is sending the traffic outside.
Yeah.
So by default inbound rules are
Allowed.
By default inbound rules are deny, and by default outbound rules are allowed. Is it possible to deny any protocol in security group?
Yes.
No, because why? By default it is deny already. By default, it is denied already, right? So yeah. So guys, can you create multiple security group and attach to multiple EC2 instances,
Yes.
right? Yes. Yes. Okay. A brand new security groups has inbound rules allowed or deny? Deny. Which one is stateful?
SG.
Security groups. And which one is stateless? NACLs. So which source type you should be using it?
SG.
Which source type you should be using it in your security groups? My IP. Yeah. 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 Great. So please take your photos. Yeah. Yes, we'll be doing all these things. Babji. Ashish, so yeah, it will be, I don't know, this is a normal thing. If you want, you can. For developers also, it is helpful. You need to, I think, yes, those are free. Security groups, NSCLs are free. So there is a architect and AWS developer, etc., certifications, right? Please see my first video, first recording, you will get to know. But for developers also, you need to know the architecting. Without knowing architecting, without knowing on AWS, what you do on AWS as a developer also. So if you are a core pure developer, Java or whatever developer you are, you will be developing applications and eventually you have to put that on AWS, right? Yeah. And also your applications, you should be developing according to the AWS, using the AWS services, not only because you have AWS software development kit and all, right? You should be using AWS services, AWS SDKs to develop. Yeah. We can't sign those, but we can use NACL. We can't sign those, meaning we can sign those, but we can, yeah, yes, we can just use it, true. So do AWS use other vendor firewalls like Cloudflare? Yes, Checkpoint, if you want, yes, possible. But natively it will not provide. But for this Checkpoint and all these things, if you want, you can use it. That will be inside your EC2 instance, not on outside. Cloud plus Linux, cybersecurity can I move? Definitely you can move. Abdul Bhai, nice guy, nice one actually. Cybersecurity, yeah. Okay, there is a question here. What are the courses are required for solution architect? Is it mandatory to learn DevOps or not? No. For solution architect, you don't need to learn DevOps. My course is enough. You can get certified. So total, how many protocols we are using in the practical CNC? What? Come on. No need to know these. How many protocols? So okay, so it's completely depends. RDP, SSH, right? HTTP, NFS. What you do with that? Yeah, no need. Yeah, everything is on TCP. Your HTTP, whatever HTTP, SSH, RDP, everything should be on the TCP on. Remember, HTTP over TCP IP we have learned. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So guys, can you give me the final CC for today on these topics? Smile is good for health, yeah? Good. Okay, guys. So that is all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Thank you. Take care.